bit background about me. My journey actually started almost 9 years ago with PayPlan. I was actually a debt advisor myself. And through these 9 years, I've been able to build a career working alongside PayPlan, innovating and re-engineering processes and introducing digital ways of us improving our offering to our customers. So what's great is I have a lot of knowledge of processes, how it feels to be an advisor, and I've done a lot of work with clients directly as well. So we acknowledge that debt started in the face-to-face sector, and we know that's evolved into a phone-based process, but now we know it's evolving as well to add the addition of digital solutions. And it's really exciting to be able to add to that landscape of what's available for customers. And what we can create is a triangle of support for people by face-to-face, phone and digital offerings. We really respect the skills that we've learned over the years, and we've taken them into account when we innovate, when we speak to our customers and speak to our advisors to make sure that we're moving forward in the best way that we can. So our journey began a few years ago, and we started out with a simple question to our clients, and that was, would you want a digital way of accessing debt support? And this number on the screen you see here is the number of people that effectively said, yes, we need this. And the reason that really is because of the feelings people get when it comes to debt and admitting you've got a financial hardship. We then, from that point, went on to do a large survey with our customers, which we received over 8,500 responses. And that survey backed up that indeed digital was something that needed to come into the debt management sector. We knew that surveys would only tell us a part of that story, and we knew that the best way we would get the insight is speaking directly to our clients. So we implemented and created a set of focus groups with customers. We directly got them in, we interviewed them, we asked them about our processes, we made sure we got to the heart of what it is that they felt, what they did, what they thought and what they needed from a debt process. We knew that creating a solution that was simple and efficient was only part of the story, and we knew we had to take into the emotional context of when someone finds them in financial hardship. And we found that content was a real key factor and tone of voice, and the way that you engage with someone depending on their circumstances, which could range from someone being severely vulnerable to someone just getting a bit behind on payments, and we knew we needed to do that. So one thing we know is that people think about their debt problems late at night, and potentially in the middle of the night waking up stressed and upset that they're in a debt problem. And one of our surveys showed that people will often wait 4 years before they seek advice from a professional. Now that's a long time, and the reason for that is because sometimes they may be scared to approach someone, scared to admit that they've got to potentially, fallen on hard times. So we knew that we needed to work on something that people could access out of normal working hours, and actually something for people that were embarrassed and maybe didn't want to, speak to someone initially about their problems that they're facing. So with the demand for a digital channel, and with customers needing something to access at a time that suits them when they are sort of feeling the stress of debt on the weight, the weight on their shoulders, we knew we needed to create something that met those needs. So, in collaboration with our IT function, we developed a tool called Plan Finder. And Plan Finder is a tool that can be accessed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for people that need to take that first step in getting debt help. And in particular, those that are embarrassed to maybe pick up the phone and are avoiding it for another year. So, Plan Finder was launched in May 2017, and over the last couple of years we've worked so hard to work with our customers and really learn and put them at the heart of making sure that our advice and our offering, whether it be by phone or by our digital strategy, meets the needs that they want. And we've had a great response to it, with 92% of customers agreeing that it's easy to use and 98% of them agreeing that they would recommend it to a friend and family if they got into financial difficulty. What's also great is, of those customers that actually create a Plan Finder account to seek and get debt support, 78% go on to start their journey And what's even better is that 87% of them are able to get through that journey without needing live agent interaction or our phone processes, which means we're really creating something that people want to see through, and we've worked really hard on that. But along the way, we've wanted to identify some really key pain points within the journey and making sure that we understood them to a good detail. Creditor information was a big point. So customers saw it as a really big sticking point. Traditionally, you'd ask a customer to go away and maybe make a manual list of all the people they owed money to. And that often meant trawling through their drawers at home, having to open unopened letters that they'd avoided and turned a blind eye to, and actually having to face the emotional stress of realising how their debt problem had developed. What we've been able to do is integrate a major credit bureau agency to allow customers to build a major part of their financial picture and who they owe. And what's great is they can do that at the click of a button, rather than now having, spend days and days going away, searching for those letters. And often in that time as well, people would stop the process there because life gets in the way and new problems have arisen. I'll sort my debt problem out maybe next week, maybe next month. What we want to do is reduce those barriers, as Rachel said, and making sure we're helping and encouraging people to get the help they deserve and need. One really other big part of innovation that we're currently working on, which we're pretty excited about, is how you support creating affordable and sustainable budgets. So what we now know is people that don't actually finish their Plan Finder journey with us, 41% of them actually drop out when it comes to building a budget. And research shows the reason for that is because they often think it's going to be a bigger process than maybe they thought initially, and they maybe think that they need tools to support them. So I'm going to need to get my bank statements to help do that, or I don't really have a clue how to build a budget. So we know that people are walking away at that point. And what we're really excited to do is explore how a very new popular technology, which a lot of you have hopefully heard of in this room, open banking, can help with that. So I'd love to talk to you all about open banking because it's pretty much my life at the moment and really exploring how that works, but I'm just going to try and sum it up quite simply for you. So the simplest way I can describe it, it's a bit of an invisible technology that's been developed by the banks basically, where a customer has more control over their banking information. And this was introduced by the Competitions and Markets Authority to create competition in the banking industry. But actually what we're finding is it certainly has a place in the future of debt management and certainly has a place for innovation. Put simply, a customer will be able to consent, be redirected to their own bank's website, pop in their online banking details, and basically be able to share their incomings and outgoings of their current accounts, saving accounts and credit cards to trusted third-party providers. And the way that you use technology is you can categorise the expenditure, or you can start to pre-populate income and expenditure, meaning you can save time for a customer, remove the stress of them creating a budget, and actually build a more accurate picture. You remove the guesswork. I roughly spend this. Oh, I roughly spend this. You can actually start to create and give better advice. So our digital offering has gone beyond just helping clients from the outset. We need to make sure that customers who get advice also get those options beyond the advice part of the process. So we've worked on other innovations within the business to make sure we're supporting people the best we can. We've had a great mobile application called PayPlan Plus around for a few years now, and this allows customers to manage their plan online by their phone, by a tablet, by a laptop, whatever method they choose. They can see how their plan's progressing, they can see the payments that they've made, they can make payments online, send us pictures and also send us messages. It's got a great array of features and we found that it's an incredibly popular choice for customers and it really complements any managed solution. We've also introduced e-sign technology. We know that the setup process of any advice you give can be challenging when it comes to getting things like bank statements to verify someone's income and expenditure. So open banking should remove that for the advice industry. Secondly, when you're trying to get signed documentation, letter of authorities may be signed. That can sometimes, and again, be another place a customer walks away from the debt support. They, you have to wait for a letter to come in the post, you have to sign it, you have to send it back. Now we can get signed documentation same day from customers and in their own time to really help move that process along. So I have talked a lot about sort of the the technologies and innovation that PayPlan can offer, and that's what we're really excited to be able to invest in and share with the industry, which is so great. But we also don't want to forget that it's also about the way that we communicate and talk to customers in a digital fashion, by the phone, by face, and in written communication. So meeting with our clients, we've been really able to understand what it is that they want. We know how important face-to-face is for complex situations, and in digital, we want to make sure that we can try and give the best service we possibly can and meet those emotional needs. So with feelings of embarrassment, anxiety and stress, we knew that we needed to do something different. We know clients don't want to be patronised, but they want to be treated like a human and not just another client. They want an element of personalisation, and they actually want to know that whether it is digital or whether it is phone that they seek advice by, they want to know that somebody's at the end of it, and actually it's not a robot making a decision. Somebody's seen my circumstances, understood them, and given me the best direction for me. So we made sure that we introduced things like personalisation into the processes and the way that we talk. Tone of voice was super important. Like I say, treating them like a human. Non-judgmental was a huge factor in all of this. People seem to think that they're being judged, but actually we know as advisors we deal with this every day. It's very common, and actually it's nothing to be ashamed of, and you can get the help that you need quite easily. What we also did as well is we introduced some great prompting around our phone and digital processes, like emails and texts that encourage them to carry on, because so many start the process but let life get in the way and don't see it through to getting the help that they really need. And what we've been able to do by introducing those kind of measures, talking to our customers in the right way and giving them a triangle of options where they can get help face-to-face, get help by phone or by digital, we can now help 30% more people than we did before, and I think that in itself is a massive achievement. And I'm going to leave that there, but thank you very much for your time.